What's up everyone, this is Donnie aka Elevated with Dota Alchemy. Thank you so much for tuning in again today. And today's video is by request from our YouTube comment section. I thought that this was a pretty timely question to answer and something that would benefit a lot of people in their pubs. And that is the question, how do you counter Bloodseeker? I know that this hero in particular causes a lot of problems for a lot of people in pubs. And so I figured that I would give away my secrets and allow you to make my games miserable by telling you the best way is to counter Bloodseeker. And to do this, we are going to take a look at a couple games from the TI qualifiers. First of all, I just wanted to quickly look at some statistics, just because I think this is kind of important. We're going to look at Dota Buff real quick, and we are going to just look at a couple of the heroes that supposedly counter Bloodseeker and talk about why those are the ones that do counter it. And one of them is definitely Monkey King. Monkey King is a hero that really excels at bullying people out of lane. Obviously, Bloodseeker is a hero that also excels at bullying people out of lane. So if you can match up a Monkey King against a Bloodseeker, Monkey King will win that matchup 99 out of 100 times, just because the Bloodseeker cannot trade effectively with the Monkey King unless all of Monkey King's team is low and it's just like 2 against 1 where the Bloodseeker has help. And also, Monkey King has slightly farther attack range, which means that anytime Bloodseeker approaches the creep wave to try and get a last hit, Monkey King can hit him without suffering any consequences. Another hero that I would say really counters Bloodseeker is actually Tiny. And Tiny is a hero, obviously, that is very bad in the meta right now. The hero has been super nerfed, and nobody really wants to play him. But Tiny has the same sort of ability to bully Bloodseeker during the laning phase, because if Bloodseeker tries to approach the creep wave with Blood Rage on, Tiny just avalanches him. He takes a ton of damage, doesn't get any of the last hits, and has to back away. Tiny also has massive base damage, which allows him to contest the Bloodseeker's massive base damage with Blood Rage for last hits. And then as the game gets into like the mid stages of the game, Bloodseeker's really bad against burst damage, and Tiny is a hero who has potentially the most burst damage in the game during the early to mid game parts of the game. A couple other heroes that are really good against Bloodseeker are things like Batrider, Legion Commander, because they hold him in place, and Bloodseeker is a hero that really wants to be moving all the time. That's why I would also say Faceless Void counters Bloodseeker. And you'll see that if we look at some of these other ones, they're all heroes that have slows. Pudge Rot, Enchantress has a slow, Wyvern has a slow, Chen has a slow, Lifestealer has a slow, Troll has a slow. All of these heroes really can slow him down, and if Bloodseeker doesn't have momentum, then it's very easy to deal with him. And one final hero that I wanted to look at real quick is Ursa. Now, this hero obviously is pretty hard to play in the meta as well right now, but he kind of exemplifies what you want to do to Bloodseeker during the laning stage. And that is, anytime he tries to get a last hit, you hit him. And Ursa's Fury Swipes stack for quite a long time. So if you just hit Bloodseeker every time he tries to go get a last hit, the Fury Swipes will build up and basically make it so he takes like 100 damage every time he tries to get a last hit, which makes it almost impossible for him to lane. And we'll start by looking at a game where Bloodseeker does have a good game. This is sort of like the ideal laning scenario for Bloodseeker. And I really like EG's lineup in this game because Phoenix might not seem like a very good lane support. You know, this is a fairly greedy hero that needs a lot of levels. But what Phoenix does possess is, number one, it's ranged, which is really good to pair with Bloodseeker, because Bloodseeker does not want to be contested. Like, we've established that. He doesn't want to be contested for last hit. So if you have a ranged hero that can trade with enemy offlane melee hero, or a ranged hero in the enemy offlane, then you can kind of use your support to bully the hero away from the creeps while Bloodseeker gets his early experience, which is really important, because this hero is quite weak at the first and second levels. But once he gets a couple levels in Thirst, and once the heroes on the map start to get low, he becomes this exponentially more powerful hero. And so basically the whole purpose of countering this hero should be based around ruining his early game. So in this game, we can see that Fly is playing Phoenix, and he's just basically spamming his Fire Spirits out whenever he has them, because he wants to chew through the regen on the other team. And just basically try and build up thirst as early as possible. And that's really, really important. And we can also see that Arteezy is really kind of prioritizing hitting the heroes over hitting the creeps because, and this is really what you want to do as a Bloodseeker. You kind of want to have this rotation where you go and hit the heroes and bully them away from the creep wave, get the couple last hits that are there, and then go run at the heroes again, and just kind of do this circle where you're pushing the enemy heroes off the wave, getting chip damage in, because that's really important. You want to chip them and chip them and chip them and chip them until they're low, and then you can just run them down and kill them. So EG's lineup is perfect for Bloodseeker because they have two spammers in the off lane, which I love pairing with Bloodseeker. They have a Skywrath and a Pango who are just going to kind of be doing a lot of trading with the other team, which means lots of damage on them, which means that Bloodseeker gets thirst stacks. And then obviously this Phoenix is helping the Bloodseeker get his early levels. And we can see that basically what happens is that it gets to the point where Arteezy has enough denies where he has like a 2-level advantage on the enemy offlaners, and at that point they pretty much cannot come to the lane because Bloodseeker is just too fast. He's constantly getting thirst stacks from his offlane trading with the enemy safe lane, and Darkseer really cannot even be remotely close or even visible in the lane because Arteezy will just run at him, run him down, and even if he doesn't kill the Darkseer, he's still getting like 500 move speed or more and a bunch of damage, and you can see that he ends up basically just denying every single creep and having this massive, massive level advantage, and this game ends in about 18 minutes. So in the second game, we're going to look at Fnatic and how they dealt with a Bloodseeker in their regional qualifiers. What I really wanted to focus on is what Eternal Envy and Pi are doing, which is that they are pressuring the Bloodseeker for every single last hit at the early game. You can see that Envy throws out his Stormbolt, one Bloodseeker goes for the creep, and then they actually go as far as to fortify the wave just as he's about to get a really critical heal off of a creep. It's basically just anytime he tries to get a last hit, they throw stuns, they throw damage, and he really does not want to be spending time away from the creep wave. And one other thing that I wanted to mention is that you want to out regen the Bloodseeker. You really, really need salves over tangos because of the quick heal. Tangos take a long time for them to heal, and so if you can buy salves instead of tangos, or at least have an extra salve, then you can get that burst heal. And you can see here that Eternal Envy actually goes as far as to TP back to base when he's low, just to deny the Bloodseeker the move speed and damage. And when he has a very bad early game, he pretty much has a bad mid game and late game because he is very momentum based. He wants that early level advantage and then to snowball that and snowball the game. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this helps you. Hope it helps you ruin my games on Bloodseeker because that would mean that you're doing something right. Good luck, have fun, everyone, and we'll see you next time.